Hi, I'm Dana. This is Added Beauty. Welcome. All right, today is Saturday. It was a nice Saturday. It's late now, but I had all these plans for what I was going to do today, and I didn't do any of it. But we did do something nice. My son and I were able to go out with my auntie. We celebrated her birthday. We're about a week after, but this is when she chose to want to go celebrate her birthday. So we went to Cheesecake Factory, y'all. That's what she chose. And I like Cheesecake Factory. I know some women were starting some trash about it's not the right place to take a woman on a date, which I think is garbage. You're not entitled to having a man spend $1 zillion, especially on a first date. And, it's decent. And actually, for the average person, it's not that cheap. So I think some of my sisters need to chill a little bit on that one. But so anyway, we went to Cheesecake Factory in the Grove. And the Grove is always a whole scene. I don't know if for anybody who might be watching it that's not from the Los Angeles area, it's an outdoor mall shopping center that's really upscale, and people go there to be seen. There is a scene, and sometimes you might see some celebrity or somebody that you're like, is that a celebrity? And yeah, probably they are. Shops, restaurants, etc. So they have higher end places, and they had the Cheesecake Factory there. And they also have a really good spot that's like in the farmer's market section of it. That's like a nostalgia situation for me and my family. A restaurant called Dupar's. It has really, really good pancakes. But anyway, so we went to lunch. My aunt was pretty happy to just be out. When we picked her up, I picked her up at a friend's house, and she wanted me to meet her friends. And one of the ladies that we met there has I don't know if she does it as her full-time business or not, but she was talking about not using, because she doesn't have any stem cells, like reactivating your stem cells to do additional work in your body, clear things out, sharpen things up, basically. And I know that's not a super duper technical explanation of it, but basically whatever the process is that she has her folks go through, then it's supposed to reawaken stem cells that have gone dormant or died off. I guess if they're dead, they're dead. So maybe I guess it's a reawaken, the ones that are dormant. Like in a large number, that is supposed to kind of make you feel renewed in some different ways. And so it was interesting to hear her talk about it. She gave me her card. I'm gonna do some research into it just because I'm curious. But she also talked about therapeutic touch. And while we were there, she started kind of like giving my son kind of like a hand and arm wrist kind of massage that she felt like she released his carpal tunnel in the process. And so, okay, I'm open to complementary and alternative therapeutics for sure. There's a lot of things what I'm studying too. And this is a different and new one. So I'm gonna look into it just to see what I can find out. But anyway, so that's how we started our almost all day adventure, taking my aunt to lunch. I was dragging tail this morning. I allowed myself to stay in the bed a little bit longer, which I definitely needed, especially after the crazy, crazy week I had. When I had some time after Thursday, and then Friday was not much better at work, but I had some time to think about it, and I I'm still at all times grateful because I know that I'm going to land on my feet no matter what happens, and nothing has happened yet. But I know that God's got me, and every time I've needed to make a move, it's always been a move forward. So it made me start to dream. And I thought about it like throughout the day while we were kind of roaming around in the shopping center, while we were driving, and since I've been home too. So while we were at the shopping center, you kind of look around and sometimes you window shop and think about, I'd like to buy this, or I don't really, like there's some material things that I like, but I don't really need anything. It's more like, if I was at this financial level, I'd probably, live a little more like this way, or do a little more impulse buying and some things. I did buy a couple things, but it was stuff I needed, like for the most part. I needed to replace my foundation. I bought this House Labs foundation that I really love. Like the texture of it's really good. And I have their concealer also. And they're, they're two different tones, of course. But like the weight of it, the feel of it is really good. And so I went and bought a replacement one in Sephora. And it's weird because I bought one, I didn't use it up, but the bottle kind of kept leaking and exploding. And I couldn't really use it. Like it ruined my makeup bag twice, and it doesn't wash off right away. So, which is good for, when you're wearing it. But I tried to take it back to Sephora at one point, and they're like, oh, it's been a little too long. It's been past a month, so you can't return it. But I didn't start using it right away, so I had basically a full bottle. So I was a little frustrated. I've been trying to use it at home instead of being able to carry it with me, and I have it sitting in a Ziploc bag so it wouldn't leak all over my sink. But it's leaked all over the Ziploc bag. It's a mess. So I was like, well, I'm gonna try it one more time. I think I just got one that was made on a Monday or something. I don't know what happened, but I really like the product. And you wouldn't know it right now because I don't have any on. But it's really nice and even and all of those things. Right now I have on eyeliner and mascara. And right before this video, I put on a little bit of blush so I wouldn't look quite as tired as I feel, but I don't have on foundation or concealer. I was being a little, lazy with that today. Oh, and I got lip gloss too, sorry. But when I do wear it, it's like a big difference. And so while we were at that shopping center in the Sephora, which is a couple days doors down, I went ahead and got another one. And it looks like they've changed the pump. So maybe I wasn't the only one that had that issue. It's not the same pump anymore. So hopefully that solved the problem because I really like it. And then, what did we do? We walked over into the farmer's market segment, and they have a French market there. It has all of these imported goodies. They've got a deli, they've got, shelf products and different things like that. But one of the reason why I went over there, I wanted to buy this gourmet butter that is hard to find here in the States. And that was one of the few stores that was on the map that said they had it. And when we got there, they didn't have it. They do carry it, but they were sold out of it. But they did have another high-end gourmet butter that the salesperson there actually was pretty good. She said, well, the owner of the store loves this other one. It's Monsieur something or other. That one I went there for. But she had this other one as a recommendation from another French person who was like, you should carry this too because I come by it. And I guess she said in the process of her carrying this other one that I ended up buying, she realized she liked that one better. So I went ahead and bought it. I bought some pomegranate jelly. I love pomegranate jelly. That's hard to find too. And these chips that are made in Italy, potato chips. So I know I like their truffle chips. So this time I tried paprika chips, smoked paprika, and then Mediterranean seasoned or herbs. I haven't tried that one yet. So, you know, they're like the little bags. They have them in different sizes, but I got 2 little bags in case I don't like it. I didn't buy too many. But I figured I'd try something new. And I like gourmet food. I like cooking. And as I think I have said in some previous videos, I am trying to, even when I'm having junk food like chips, which I don't do very often, buy it in a brand that's not covered in all the preservatives. And a lot of times that ends up being imported. So while we were there, I did that. And it was Saturday. I also bought a chocolate bar. It was a white chocolate double caramel from some other company. I don't know. It's just never seen before, but I was like, that sounds like me. I love white chocolate. I know, don't get mad. I like it. And I like dark chocolate too. I like white chocolate and dark chocolate better than I like milk chocolate. Go figure. And I love caramel. So I thought that sounded like a pretty good combo. So I bought that. I'll, you know, probably eat like one little brick at a time. It'll take me several days to eat that one. But just kind of one of those meandering days, right? We had lunch. We walked around the shopping center a little bit. And then, man, for whatever reason, it took me a long time to drive us home. And so it's kind of like a scenic tour of LA, which I have done in a while because I don't live in LA proper anymore. But every time I go to LA, it's amazing how much things have built up even more. But, you know, on to the dreaming. So I'm thinking like, if I'm gonna shift my life, and while I'm working on all of these things to expand my life, right? I mentioned before that I took a master class on how to do YouTube. And I'm still learning. I haven't mastered any of those things yet. Like, I still am not doing the thumbnails like I should. You know, I'm still working on my phone. Like, I don't have a big setup and rig with like a camera setup and big microphone and all that. It's just me and my iPhone at this moment. And so I'm working on all of that. We'll get there. But it's been interesting to dream and think about, I guess my words for this year that keep coming up, the word is expansion. And I love that for me, like expansion in all the ways, health-wise, spiritually, emotionally, tapping into, my aunt calls it my knowing. I joke around and I say I have that ESPN. It's not ESPN obviously, but I do have ability to sometimes see things ahead of time, literally like visualize the whole scene ahead of time, down to everything that's being said, worn, done, including in places I haven't been before. And then I also have, you know, I guess if you want to call it deja vu. So premonitions, deja vus, all that kind of fun stuff. And sometimes just a knowing is probably really, I should be looking at it like a word from God or you know, intuition kind of a thing. So intuition is really Holy Spirit, but you get the idea. And I don't always talk about that, but sometimes it's very vivid, very specific, and other times it's kind of like abstract. Mostly if it's feels like it's gonna be something that's real and not just a weird dream or whatever, because I get stuff in dreams a lot too. A lot of it comes in dreams actually. Then it's not so abstract. It's like very hyper realistic. But when it is kind of abstract, sometimes it's just giving me ideas, and I try to like write down if I can, I'll keep a notepad near my bed, try to write down thoughts, if I think it's going to be something important to hold on to. And interestingly, I don't know if this is the case for everybody, but I am always aware that I'm dreaming. And a lot of times if I don't like the way the dream is going, I either wake myself up or I change the subject or change the trajectory of the dream. And I don't know if that's something everybody does, but sometimes that's kind of stressful because probably the mind power it takes to change the direction of what's happening when you're supposed to be trying to rest and relax probably feels like a stress dream too. But anyway, so when I'm daydreaming and just trying to picture, like, if you allowed yourself to picture what would that perfect life look like at this moment in my life, it would be a little more softness, a little more ease, a lot more time. That's not so bottled up in work, or if it is, it's the kind of work that I really want to do. And I've been thinking about that, right? Because I've been looking for a job, and I have to have a job at this moment in my life. But like, perfect world structure, I think I'd work for myself for sure. And I do own a small business, but you know what I mean? I still have to have a job too. And, but perfect world, I'd work for myself. I would have more time for volunteering for sure. And my work would look like things that help people. I'm a helper. In a lot of cases, I'm also a fixer, I've learned. And I'm a doer, so I think, I'd really like to use those things and my creative talents. I like art. I like, that's why this is called Added Beauty, right? Because I like adding beauty to my life and to the lives of people around me. And that could be in the form of art. It could be in the form of cooking a really good meal. It could be in the form of experiences, travel, all the things, right? Music. Oh my gosh, I love music and live music especially. And I think all of those things add beauty to your life. I really love texture. So when I think about like household things, nice linens, nice towels, nice sheets, with some texture, with some color. Really love beautiful tabletop, dinnerware, silverware, glasses, lots of glassware. And like those kind of things, along with some fresh flowers on my table, make me happy. And so in my perfect world, let's see, I'd probably work in a creative space, and do some designing, have some home lines, probably a fashion line, definitely a tabletop line, and definitely specific teacups. I love teacups with saucers, not just a little teacup. I like the big ones that I can hold a lot of. I like to drink a big cup of tea. And so I collect those. When I see ones that fit that bill, they're a nice size and they're really pretty. And I've found that most of them are imported also. Not looking for it to be, it just works out that way. But as I think there's a lot of English teacups that you can find the bigger ones with the saucer. I would build a custom home. But I think in my retirement, my dream would be to have probably 4 homes. And I don't know that I have to own them all, but 4 places to be. I think when I envision it, it's sort of like a nomad situation, but controlled situation. So like a home by the beach, like where I live now, a home, but that's my own, that I can go crazy with decorating and everything and have the ocean view. That I think would be my primary home. Remember, this is my dream fantasy life now, right? So primary home would have enough land to grow some things, grow some fruits, some vegetables, some herbs, some flowers, all of that, and then have enough space for having pets. So a couple of dogs, probably a couple horses, and enough land to make that, doable. And then be in a community that allows for that, right? Where I can ride a horse, or I can walk my dogs and, be unmolested, right? And still have also the killer view of the ocean. Don't have to be ocean front, but I want to be able to see some beauty or some sort of a nice view that includes a water situation. There are a couple of neighborhoods here in Southern California that have that. So a couple of them are on my mental vision board. That would probably be the place that I'd spend the most time. And of course, if I have all of that, I wouldn't want to be there by myself, right? I'd want to be there with my person. And hopefully those are some of the things that he might be into, or at least, he'd humor me enough that we could do that. And, a few times a year, go for a month or two somewhere else. And the somewhere else could be the mountains and snow. It could be a lakefront spot. This is what I envisioned in my four place plan, right? Somewhere in the ocean, somewhere by a lake, in a different place, obviously. Somewhere in the mountains, and then somewhere overseas. And the where overseas is yet to be determined. So I think part of my dream life would be spending time trying different places to figure out where that would be. And I would also like to have dual citizenship so that I can stay, for longer periods of time. And of course, with the climate of things that we've got going on here, you might want to be gone for a minute until the streets aren't quite so hot. But yeah, so like I envision checking out places like Costa Rica and Panama and Portugal. And another YouTuber that I follow named Glow talks about the love of Thailand. And I've always wanted to check it out. I don't know if I'd want to live there or not yet. I don't know, because I haven't checked it out. But my dad used to live there when he was in the military. He was stationed in Thailand instead of Vietnam. And he's always still loved it. He still speaks the language. And, we've talked about taking a trip there together so I could see it through his eyes and have him be an interpreter. But I know I love Thai food. I know from what I've seen of it, it's a beautiful space and place. But that doesn't necessarily translate to where you want to live long term. You'd have to figure it out. But maybe it'd be one of the places that was in my rotation if it was in my four seasons rotation. I don't know what's the best season to be in Thailand or Portugal or Panama or wherever it would be. I've also thought a lot about, if I were staying at different places in the States, because if that was safer or just made more sense, maybe it's a place here in California, a place in Hawaii. I don't know where the mountain place would be. And, somewhere else. The United States is so big, though, and we have like every type of terrain and climate and all of the things. And some of our states, like California and Texas, are bigger than some European countries. So I'm sure I could find it in rotation, and I wouldn't get bored. I did buy the timeshare. I fell for it when we were in Hawaii. I was in a mood. And they made me a good deal I couldn't refuse. So I think I only bought 8,500 points, but they also gave me a bonus of 100,000. And I have like the next 4 or 5 years to use the extra 100,000 on top of the 8,500 every year. So I have no excuse not to travel, and and not to take some big nice trips. And so I think maybe I'll use that time to see where my other happy places are. And dreaming big also includes being able to give big. I would like to be able, like I said, to volunteer more and give more of my time and mentorship and all of those things as well. But I also want to be able to give big. And I have dreams of being able to help fund like my church's building fund. Everybody's church got a building fund, perpetual building fund. But I want to see them get there in my lifetime, where you can see all of the good things that they have planned come to fruition. And I actually really like my pastor and his first lady. They are people of integrity that I think would actually handle it right. So that's important. And I could see, like, I give to St. Jude. I'd love to do more of that. I have a particular heart for food insecurity, although I've been blessed that I've never been food insecure, but I do understand how big of a problem it is here, even in the United States, where that should never be the case. And I have a heart for foster children, even though I was never one. I would like to work with older foster kids, help them have mentorship and resources as they may age out of the system, and also just somebody that's showing them some love. Like, I'd like to work in those kinds of arenas. And so in my dream life, I'd have a little less work time, so I'd have a little more time for those things. And I feel like that would be fulfilling, especially if the rest of the things are kind of firing mostly on the right cylinders. And in terms of relationship, dream life relationship, of course, I think I'd like to, well, maybe it's not the same for everybody. I can't say, of course. For me, I'd like to get remarried. I've been divorced for more than 25 years now. And I did not see that coming. I thought for sure I would have remarried, maybe had more children, or inherited some children from whoever my spouse would be. And I still want to do all the things, right? I want us to travel together. I want us to build together. I want to support each other's dreams, all the stuff. I want us to roll around together quite a bit. I got some catching up to do. I know TMI, but I mean, shoot, what they say, your marriage bed is not defiled, so Anyway, I don't know. I just want to take one really good spin at it, right? If you got one good spin, let's do it. And so, sunny days like this and peaceful days, even in the storm of everything else that's going on, you allow yourself to clear your mind. And I think if you dream big, it also helps you to focus on getting there, even if it's not all the way to all of that. All the way to a lot of it would be nice. I think I can live with that. And so I'm going to keep dreaming. I spent some time, it wasn't specifically ChatGPT, but I spent some time, trying to brainstorm today also about, personal branding, and trying to achieve some of the goals that I have financially that will allow me to do some of the things that I just talked about. So I'm being really intentional about it. I don't know why this year, but I was down for paying for the extra learning, right? I'm already in a doctoral program, but paid for this master class. I've done this kind of challenge over here. I signed up for another something today. It's like looking for that clarity. I'm not all over the place. It all kind of goes together. But, you know, trying to solidify what my expansion is going to look like, how it's going to roll out, how it's going to feel, and really wanting to hit some out of the park goals before the end of the year. It's already February, I can't say it, February, but it's also only February. So I have the rest of the year to make that stuff happen. And I know I am, because I have my mind made up. And again, I'm gonna keep staying focused. I'm gonna put in the work. And, you know, I know that it's gonna take a while to build things up. I think my followers here are very small, but it won't always be that way. I appreciate y'all though. Hanging there with me while I get it together. And yeah, you know, it's gonna grow into what I want and need it to be, because I've determined that it will. So anyway, I'm gonna keep adding some beauty to my day, my life, hopefully this channel as well. I'm gonna keep working on more balance, more relaxation, and I'm gonna try to bring you with me, because I know you need it too. It's stressful out here. And you know, you can do a lot with a little. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be super time consuming, but you just have to be intentional and thoughtful about it. And so we'll walk through it together. And hopefully it really will add some beauty to your life. All right, come on. Let's do it. Whew. Man, take a deep breath. All right. Consider liking, subscribing, telling a friend, tap a neighbor, tell a friend. Come see me again tomorrow.